It's all hustle and bustle here back at Medieval Times. I'm Tom Barnes, Chicago scene out in Schaumburg at Medieval Times. They're open, the 25% capacity for sure. Either way, you should check out your tickets at their website and come out because it's a ton of fun. And I'm going to talk to Sir Camden, and he's going to give me a little behind the scenes look at what makes this place so special. First, I got to get my picture. So after 13 long months, Sir Camden, you are back to work, aren't you?
Yes, it's good to be back.
So tell me about what it was that got this place back up and running after being shut down for 13 months. Like, what did you guys do to be in these socially distant times we're in?
Right, well, during those 13 months, the castle may have looked asleep from the outside, but there was a lot going on inside. We had a skeleton crew, a team that was helping take care of our horses, take care of our falcons, making sure the building didn't fall down. In the last month or so, we've been putting together all these different procedures, so to help our guests with social distancing, to help our employees with social distancing, as well just a lot of different ways to sanitize the castle, to keep people safe. So we want our guests to be safe, but we also want our employees to be safe. So we have masks. Also, our guests-facing employees are wearing face shields. So the last month has been really just figuring out how we're going to do this and how we're going to do it safely. Luckily, we have other castles at other locations that have been open for the last 8-9 months. So then they've sort of been the guinea pig to figure out what works, what doesn't. So luckily, a lot of the mistakes they made, we're learning from. And we'll still make mistakes in the future, but we want to learn from those. But we have a lot before us that we can draw upon.
Well, and practicing avoids mistakes. And when we walked in a little bit ago, right when I arrived, you had some guys out there practicing, which I imagine you had to do a lot of when there's no live audience. And there's nothing but to do but practice and keep the horses in shape, because I bet you that was probably the hardest thing, the muscle memory, the chops. I've heard musicians call, and it's just performing in front of a live audience has got to be different than just doing it with nobody here, but it's also important to train, right?
Yes, of course. I mean, we did several dress rehearsals, and just not having that crowd there is just not the same. And then our opening night, we have 300 people there, and it just, the energy, the electricity in the air was incredible. But we do have to practice without an audience so we can get the mechanics of everything down, especially for the nights they have to be safe with what they do. So it's a lot of repetition. Same for the cast as well. They got a repetition of the lines, repetition of the scenes, repetition of working with different actors and different scenes. So a lot of rehearsal, a lot of practice, but it's all worth it when we finally get to do it for the crowd.
So people, for the first time coming back, or first time ever, what should they expect when they walk in, like at the entrance? What's different than was before?
So what will be a little bit different, as you come into the castle, you'll have your temperature taken. So that's the first thing right off the bat. You'll have serfs and wenches wearing masks and face shields now, so that'll be a little different. You'll have decals on the floor that will determine 6 feet of distance between guests. Once you come into the Hall of Arms, what you'll see is that our bar is you can no longer go up to the bar to purchase a drink. But we are opening the doors to the Grand Arena much earlier now, so our guests can come, sit at their table, and they can order a drink from there. So as long as they're seated at their table, they can consume a beverage. So that's one of the biggest changes.
And for people who are just, like I said, coming here for the first time and just see the arena as it is now, there's a lot that goes behind the scenes as far as getting a show ready between all the horses, the stables, and all that. Talk about just what people don't usually get to see that makes this all work.
Well, we have our stables over there. We have 25 horses. We have Andalusian stallions. We have quarter horses. The hours and hours that go into training just one single horse for a show, it's hundreds of hours. Same with our knights. A new knight takes 6 months to a year to train them. Wow. It's a lot of riding. The riding is about 80% of what they do, and then 20% is all the fighting. And then the showmanship is sort of what they learn as they start to do the show. A lot of the people in the cast are seasoned actors, so they already kind of knew what they were doing as far as performing, but the riding is new to a lot of them. The Queens and the Lord Marshal, they do ride, so it requires sometimes up to a month of training for that. We have our falconer who takes care of our falcons. Training a new falconer takes a long time, because you have to be able to work with the birds, you have to also be able to fly them in the show. So that's a lot of work right there. And then just all the behind the scene things with the kitchen, our retail staff, our bar staff.
Which is all open, right? The people are still, the experience is eating and watching all this, right?
Yes, you're still eating the 4-course meal as before. Yes, indeed. And the drinks, like I said, as long as at your table, you still have the wide array of drinks available to you. And also we have our office up here where we have our administrative staff. They've been taking care of things as well. It's a whole team effort. So a lot of people sometimes just think about the knights when they think about medieval times, but there's so many different, it's a multifaceted team that keeps everything running.
And one of the cool things I think about the experience outside of what you've talked about is people can get knighted. Talk about what that's like for people.
Yes, so luckily we still have the knighting ceremony. It's a little bit different than before. It's less grandeur. It's a little more intimate, which I think is sort of nice. Sometimes before you'd get little kids who I think might get a little intimidated with all the trumpets and the music and all the people watching. Now it's a little more intimate, so now the Queen can be a little bit quieter, can talk more directly, and it's not as much of a show. So now it seems like people almost enjoy it a little more because it's like, oh, this is my ceremony with the Queen. But we do that throughout the Hall of Arms, or in the center of the Hall of Arms. We do that throughout the 45 minutes while the doors are open. And so the Queen she'll raise you to a knight or a lady of the realm, and I know some people feel taller after they've been made a knight. I don't know. I've never felt that personally, but that's a wonderful little thing you can do before the show.
And I think it's a great way for people to be able to get up close and personal and see, versus from afar, just see them up close. And when I socially distance, of course, but it's just something different and fun and all that good stuff.
And she's got her sword, so she can keep you at a sword's length away.
Keep you in line, right?
Yeah, of course. So the original social distance was the sword.
Yes. For people who want to come by, what are the hours like and the scheduling and all that good stuff, and the best way for them to get tickets?
The best way to get tickets is usually to go onto the website. You can also call, there's the number 1-888-WE-JOUST. The website is usually your best bet. For May, typically our schedule right now is about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, usually 7 p.m. show, and then we have doubles on Saturday, so that would be a 3 p.m. and a 7 p.m., and then doubles on Sunday, which are 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. But if you want to see everything specifically, I'd say go to the website.
And then for during the week, show times at 7, on weekends at 7, and there's other times too, right?
Yeah. But typically, we used to do 7:30, but now we've switched over to 7. And now because we're opening the arena earlier for people to be able to purchase drinks, we now have had to put a little more extra time in between our double shows on a Saturday. So we used to do 4 and 7, now it's 3 and 7. So.
But either way, people can still get their fill and come by, and you guys are fully open.
The experience hasn't changed. Just the only thing is a little different that the knights are now wearing masks during the tournament. But other than that, it's pretty much the same entertainment you were experiencing before, if not even more entertaining, because you have all these performers who haven't got to express themselves in front of a crowd for over a year. So I've noticed the performances in the last week have been, like I said, electric.
And people should jump on the tickets just because, you are within the state regulations of the 25%. So it's not the usual bigger crowd that people have been accustomed to, but still very loud, very boisterous, and still a ton of fun.
Yeah, and the nice thing is too, they're spreading everyone out. So 356 is the max we can hold, but when you spread it out, it sounds like a 900 person crowd. It's incredible.
It sounds like the show's about to start, so Sir Cam, I'll let you get back to your job here, and thank you for showing me around. I appreciate it.
Of course. I hope you enjoyed the tournament, my lords.
Absolutely, thank you. All right, and that is Medieval Times out in Schaumburg. TBARNAS at WGNTV.com. That's TBarness at WGNTV.com. If you have a suggestion for the Chicago scene, and as always, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. See ya.